Have you ever felt completely betrayed by the people who were supposed to love you the most? I have. My own family. They didn't just turn their backs on me, they took everything. My inheritance, my home, my sense of self-worth. They left me with nothing. For a long time, all I had was anger and a feeling of complete helplessness. I was just a kid when my parents passed away, and I was left in the care of my aunt and uncle. They were my world, my only remaining connection to my parents. I trusted them completely. My parents had been successful, leaving behind a significant inheritance meant to secure my future, my education, my first home, everything. It was all laid out in a trust, managed by my aunt and uncle until I turned 25. Growing up, life seemed normal. They provided for me, but there was always a subtle distance. I was treated like a guest in my own life, never truly part of their core family. Little things, like their own kids getting new gadgets while mine were always secondhand, or family vacations I was conveniently too sick to go on. I brushed it off, telling myself I was being ungrateful. They took me in after all. What more could I ask for? The years went by, and I focused on my studies, dreaming of the day I would be independent, using the foundation my parents left for me to build my own life. I had plans to go to a top university, maybe start a small business. My parents had always encouraged my entrepreneurial spirit. I felt like I owed it to them to make something of myself. My 25th birthday arrived, not with a celebration, but with a cold, hard slap of reality. I sat down with my aunt and uncle, expecting a conversation about transferring the trust. Instead, they handed me a stack of papers, legal documents filled with jargon I couldn't understand. The gist of it was simple and brutal. The money was gone, all of it. They claimed it was a series of bad investments. The market crashed, they said. Unlucky timing, they sighed. They spun a tale of trying to grow my inheritance, of risks that just didn't pay off. My heart sank. The home my parents had left me, they had to sell it to cover debts, they claimed. The stocks, cashed out at a loss. Every asset, every penny was accounted for with a flimsy excuse. I looked at them, searching for any sign of remorse, of the loving family I thought I had. I found none, just cold, calculating eyes. I saw their new car in the driveway, noticed my cousin's designer clothes, and suddenly, all the little slights from my childhood clicked into place. This wasn't bad luck. This was theft. A long, slow, methodical theft spanning over a decade. They had been living a lavish lifestyle using my parents' money, my future, while I was being told to be grateful for the scraps they threw my way. The shock was so profound I couldn't even speak. I just walked out of their house, the house that should have been mine, with nothing but the clothes on my back and a fire of rage burning in my chest. The first few months were a blur. I was homeless, crashing on friends' couches, working dead-end jobs just to eat. Every night, I'd lie awake replaying their words, their fake sympathy. The betrayal was a physical ache. Despair was a constant companion. I could have let it consume me. I could have given up, accepted the hand I was dealt, and faded away. Society tells us to forgive, to move on. But how do you forgive people who stole your past, present, and future without a second thought? I knew I couldn't live with myself if I let them get away with it. This wasn't just about the money anymore. It was about justice. It was about taking back my life. That's when the anger turned into fuel. I stopped feeling sorry for myself and started getting smart. I knew I couldn't fight them on their terms. I didn't have money for expensive lawyers, but I had something else: time, determination, and a brain they had unknowingly paid to educate for years. I spent every spare moment at the public library, not reading novels, but devouring books on finance, law, and forensic accounting. I learned how to read a balance sheet, how to trace money through shell corporations, and how to spot fraudulent activity. The internet became my greatest tool. I pieced together my family's financial history, cross-referencing public records, social media posts, and online databases. It was like a giant, heartbreaking puzzle. Their social media was a goldmine. They weren't smart criminals. They were arrogant. My aunt would post pictures of their luxury vacations to Europe, tagging the 5-star hotels. My uncle would show off his expensive watch collection on a forum for collectors. My cousin would flaunt shopping sprees and a new sports car, all posted online for the world to see. Every post was a digital breadcrumb, a time-stamped piece of evidence. I documented everything: screenshots, saved web pages, archives. I created a timeline, matching their extravagant purchases with the dates they supposedly made bad investments with my trust fund. The picture that emerged was damning. They weren't just living well, they were living my life. The trip to Paris coincided with the unfortunate sale of a block of blue-chip stocks. The new boat appeared right after my childhood home was sold to cover losses. While I gathered my evidence, I was also rebuilding my life from the ground up. I took online courses in web development, a skill I could learn for free and monetize quickly. I started freelancing, building websites for small businesses. First, it was just enough to get a small apartment, to stop sleeping on couches. Then, it was enough to eat well. Slowly, painstakingly, I was building my own foundation, one line of code at a time. The work was grueling, but every dollar I earned was mine. It was a feeling of power they could never take from me. Every success, no matter how small, was a victory, a testament to my own resilience. I was proving to myself that I didn't need their stolen money to survive. I could thrive on my own. After 2 years of relentless digging and disciplined saving, I had two things: an ironclad case and enough money to hire a hungry, brilliant lawyer who specialized in financial fraud. When I walked into her office and laid out my meticulously organized binder of evidence, her eyes lit up. She saw what I saw, not a family dispute, but a clear-cut case of embezzlement and fraud. The game had changed. I was no longer the helpless victim. I was the one in control. We filed the lawsuit. The moment they were served the papers, their world of comfortable lies began to crumble. Their arrogance turned to panic. They tried to intimidate me, calling me ungrateful, a disgrace to the family name. But their words were hollow. I had the truth on my side. The legal battle was tough, but I was prepared. My evidence was undeniable. The paper trail I had created was irrefutable. Bank statements, social media posts, witness testimonies from people who knew of their sudden wealth, it all painted a clear picture. They couldn't explain away the luxury cars and exotic trips. Faced with the prospect of not just financial ruin but actual jail time, they folded. They settled. They had to sell everything. The house built on my inheritance, the cars, the watches, the designer bags. It all went up for auction. They had to pay me back not just the principal they stole, but damages and interest. It was more than my parents had originally left me. But watching them lose everything wasn't the victory I thought it would be. The real victory wasn't seeing them punished. It was what I had become in the process. I had transformed from a broken, betrayed kid into a self-sufficient, capable adult. I had built a successful career from scratch. I had learned to fight for myself. The money they returned was just a bonus. It was a tool, not the source of my happiness. I used it wisely, investing in my business and buying a home, my own home, bought with money I had both inherited and earned back through my own grit. I didn't take back what they stole. I created something better. Today, my life is full. I have a thriving business, a home I love, and a chosen family of friends who have shown me what true loyalty means. I don't speak to my aunt and uncle. Forgiving them is a journey I'm still on, but I've forgiven myself for trusting them. If you're out there and you've been wronged, if you feel like your world has been shattered by people you trusted, don't let despair be the end of your story. You are stronger than you think. Use your anger as fuel. Get smart, get strategic, and start building your own power. The greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's building a life so amazing that they become an irrelevant footnote in your incredible story. Your comeback is waiting. Go and claim it. Thanks for listening, and if this story resonated with you, please subscribe for more.